Adjust that a bit. Okay, hey everyone, back with just a little video I wanted to make um about the film. You probably all know the Disney film Zootopia. Came out in 2016, won Best Animated Film at the Oscars. Um, Over $1 billion, one of the highest grossing films ever. And it's one of my favorite animated films. One of my favorite films. Favorite animated films ever. If you get that, what I'm saying. And I came across doing this, playing with the thing. I came across with the on YouTube just for the hell of it, looking at the original idea. This is just a video about. For first, I should have said this at the beginning of the video. My thoughts about what the original film would have been like. And I saw on YouTube and on the internet what the original concept of the film was the original concept, as you know, had the characters, the predator characters, wearing shock collars. I saw someone out there. I don't think so. I just heard a car park here. I don't know, whatever. But they had predators. I have the DVD right here. If you can see, they had Nick, Clawhauser, I think Lionheart, if I recall correctly, wear shock collars because they were predator animals, and the collars would shock them if they showed basically any emotion at all. Like if they cried, got too happy, got too angry, it would shock them. So it would basically make them like a robot, basically, with it wanted to make them not have any emotion, which I watched the original, I compared and contrasted. I watched the original first, then I looked back at the original concept, and I gotta say, I'm really glad with the final product, what we got here. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with what we got here because had the shock collars been used, I don't think it would have been as successful as the film, you know? And it would have been, for a Disney film, it would have been far too dark and depressing. And I know a lot of people say, well, a lot of Disney films have dark and sad, depressing moments. Yeah, they do, but this entire film would have felt that way. It wouldn't have really have been a pleasant watch, especially if it was meant to be a kid film. And although it does have a lot of dark scenes, really mature themes in the film itself, the final product we got, it's subtly done, like the prejudice, the racism, or speciesism, if you want to call it that, bigotry in the film was subtly done without the collars. Because a lot of people I've seen say the collars, it would have been too in your face, the prejudice. It would have been too in your face. It wouldn't have been very subtle. And I can see where they're coming from. I will agree it wouldn't have been subtle at all. It would have been like, pretend they're wearing collars. See? They're being prejudiced against. Because they're predators. But without them, you can see watching the film that there's, prejudice against them. How it's more subtle, in a way. It's more subtle. It's not always subtle in the film, but it's more subtle without the collars. If you know what I'm saying. And that's the thing when we watch a lot of alternate versions of films. Well, it would be awesome though if they would release like a extended cut or a director's cut of the original script, like made a whole alternate version, like maybe a director's cut version of Zootopia with all the deleted concepts with the shock collars in it. Like you don't have to release it theatrically, maybe on a DVD like here, have like the original theatrical cut with the alternate version. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a fair, like I said, like that would be cool, seeing what the original film was like before they scrapped the collars. I don't mean all the deleted scenes, which there are deleted scenes on here, which they're fine, but like there's one when he's extended scene in the ice cream shop. It was fine, but I just thought it wasn't real. I could see why it was cut. It really didn't add anything. Wasn't really any importance. There's a scene with Nick in the apartment. That was a funny scene. It might even hint more of a relationship between Nick and Judy, the way the family reacts to it. There's the scene when Judy's at home, when it's called Homesick Hops, I think, when her parents are, an extended scene of her talking to the parents. Then there's a scene with her on a keyboard typing stuff in. Funny scene, but again, it didn't really feel like wasn't really needed. I can see why it was cut. The extended apartment scene, again, it doesn't really add much. It's fine, but all the deleted scenes, I could say, they have some good stuff to them that as scenes themselves. But as I can see why they were cut, because again, they don't really contribute to the plot at all. Now I'm going to say is, I don't know if it's a fair comparison or not. The alternate version of Zootopia with the shock collars, watching there's on YouTube and on here, I believe. Yeah, on here and on the internet. I found all these videos on here, on the disc as well as the internet. What the original version was, it reminded me a lot in the way of, I don't know if it's a fair comparison, because this other film I'm going to mention, the extended cut is just that, it's all scenes added in. Reminded me of the film Apocalypse Now from 1979. Great Vietnam movie, by the way. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's really great, really psychological, very dark, very, very disturbing in certain scenes. It's a great film. The theatrical cut is, without a doubt, the better version, because then there's a version called the Redux version, when they add in scenes that were deleted from the original 79 film. I think it came out in 2001, I think. Francis Ford Coppola released it. 2001, the Redux, I think. Is that? Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But, excuse me. But excuse me here. Sorry, excuse me. My allergies must be getting to me. It's really warm today here. We haven't had a warm day in a while. But anyway, the Redux version of Apocalypse Now really doesn't change the film at all. Like, the deleted scenes they use, the deleted scenes that were cut out of the film, put into this version, really don't add to the film at all. They don't really make it better in any way. I can see why the scenes were cut. Again, the scenes really don't. You can see why they were cut. And like Zootopia, I can see why they changed the film. Like I said, I don't know if that's really. I don't even know if I'm being fairly compared. If I'm making a fair comparison between the scrapped alternate version of the movie and another movie version, when it's just a bunch of scenes, all the deleted scenes added back in. Now, I said that version's inferior because it doesn't improve. The scenes don't improve the movie at all, really. Like, they have some good stuff to them, but I can see why Coppola cut them. Maybe a couple editors, too, did it. Or Paramount played a part in it, that, too. But, Like Zootopia here, I can see why the film was changed. Like I said, it really it well, again after watching the original version the other day and watching the behind the scenes about it, I could definitely say I'm really glad with the version we got here. You know, like I said, I really wouldn't have wanted like it would have felt like people have joked I see called it. It would have been like a dystopia instead of a zootopia. It would have felt like dystopia. And the writers also said that they felt like they wanted people to love this world, and the shock collars would not have made people love the world. And I fully kind of agree with that. You know? If you watch, it's called Zootopia. They have this nice stuff, but you watch, if it was the collars, you really wouldn't have enjoyed this world. You would have hated it, as they said. You would have hated watching it, having to watch these predators get shocked throughout the film. And there was that one scene with the really heart-wrenching scene with it's called the taming party. Uh, I'm not going to spoil too much because I really want you all to check it out yourself. I'm just going to say it involves a cub, a shock collar, and a father. It's really, really heart wrenching to watch. I remember seeing it and I felt like terrible watching it. I see even people online went like ballistic over how I've seen people said they've cried. These people said it tore my heart out. It broke my heart. I see people on Twitter write about that scene. Then there's a scene that was with the collars with when Nick goes to the doctor. I guess he got injured or something, and they briefly take the collar off. It's only for a short while. It gets put back on. There might be a couple other deleted scenes with of the collar version. I'd have to really look again. I think I got them both. I think there was another scene with Finnick, I think. You know what? I have my iPod right here. Why not just look up self? Zootopia deleted collar scene. Looking it up now. It's called, Nick's Tame Collar and the Taming Party. I think I'm on page 1. Well, yeah, if you look at our articles, Google, everybody says, learn about the depressing, thankfully abandoned concept. This scene almost made me cry, one user wrote. This deleted scene took things in a very dark direction. This scene will absolutely break your heart. Oh, and also, we forgot to mention, so the original version of the film, Nick was actually the main character. And I could definitely see why that was changed. I think Judy as a character has more of an interesting story. Not that Nick has a bad story. He has a really well written story. But Judy, I felt, is more. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Nick. He's a great character, but Judy somehow fits the mold of a lead character more, I think. You know, with her striving to be the goal of the cop and a lot of other things that happen with her, I think her being the main star was the right move. And the fact, of course, I'm going to say, the fact that, she's female character, girl character, whatever. I think that was a good choice, making a female the lead character, because we need more female lead characters, people. Every movie most movies are male leads. I'm glad they chose, even though it's not a princess movie, I'm glad that they chose a female as the lead character. But overall, with the The original concept, as I said, the original version of the film, I'm glad they didn't go through with it. Excuse me. Allergies, man. I'm glad they didn't go through with it. I'm glad they scrapped the collars, made Judy the main character, focused on her, and and improved definitely the dynamic between her and Nick too. And as I said in my original review, that was posted 2 years ago, I think. And they have a great setup for a sequel. Nick and Jute, as I said, and I'm going to go on off topic. I might have went off topic before when I talked about Apocalypse Now, but I really, hope. I already said that in my other review. What am I saying? But anyway, I'm just really glad with the final version we got here. A great film. And not only that, imagine if the shock collar version was used, there'd probably be a lot of parents complaining, saying it was too dark, it was too disturbing, intense, as I said, dark, depressing. I mean, I agree with some people, though, said if it would have felt better as maybe as a Don Bluth film, who did Land Before Time, American Tail. I think he did Secret of Nim, I think. Did he do it? Hold on. Secret of Nim, director. Directed by Don Bluth. I was right, it was him. But anyway, I think even DreamWorks, it wouldn't work, the original concept, if it was that. DreamWorks, Disney, they're too, and even Universal Illumination, it wouldn't have worked. Don Bluth, I don't know. Maybe if he was alive, I think he is still. I don't know. I forget right now. But anyway, I'm just really glad that, we got the version we got. And I'm really happy, Disney. You really made the right choice. Oh, he is alive, Don Bluth. I thought he was dead for a sec. But really glad with the choice we got. With the final Verb product. It deserves all the success and praise it's gotten. Deserved to win the Oscar. I don't think it would have gotten all this if it was the collar version. So, that's about it. Those are my thoughts. See you guys later. Bye.